What and who? Of course, growing up around first grade, I was watching America's Next Top Model. So of course, Tyra Banks inspired me. And the what? Well, I feel like I was always small and slim. And so I was like at least 5'7". So I was like, okay, I could do this. I could model. And my mom just told me I could do whatever I want. And I was just always watching America's Next Top Model. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I knew like a couple friends that had modeled, and Instagram really was like, oh, you could do it. It's easy, where it really wasn't. Trying to get my foot in the door with modeling, it was hard. It took me 1 year to actually get signed. I went to all of those agencies in Chicago, those top agencies that you believe that you can get signed on. I took all the necessary headshots and no one called me back. I went to those open calls and they said, no, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. I was like, okay, so I actually have to do some work. I have to start going to networking events. I ended up going to a lot of fashion shows. So the shows that I wasn't booking, I ended up actually going to those shows, and I was looking at the models and seeing like, okay, so that is what they're looking for, or, oh, they're gonna take my picture here because I'm just, walking in the door with heels on, looking like a model, but I'm not in the show. And then that's when I started getting cards and really just putting my social media out there. That's when it was really about social media, your followers, and I started getting heavily into that. And then a year later, after working out and working on my skin, I finally actually did get signed to my mother agent, which I then got signed to other agencies. So it took some time and a lot of patience, and it took a lot of growing up too, because I was alone a lot in that process. When I realized this was serious and I really wanted to do it is when I actually had booked like my first big gig. I was on TV. I was on Channel 7, ABC News, Windy City Live, and I had did that segment. It was like one of my first things I had ever really done. My mother agent was like, hey, I think this would be good for you. It's no pay, but I think you would like it. I went to the ABC studio, and I went upstairs and I was drinking coffee, and they were just treating us all nice. And I got changed, and they did a segment, and they were panning, and I was on the news. I was like, oh, and my granny was like, okay, and I was like, okay, I want to do this. I want to come back. I want to, really, really do this. And it was a model that was there. She was like, oh yeah, I'm here all the time. You just got to really network and work with the artist, or it was the stylist. You have to really work with the stylist and just really keep up with them, and then they'll have you back to showcase their work. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna really, work hard and really try to do this. To my support system was my mom. My mom was really, really heavily involved in, especially getting me to my mother agent. It was downtown, and she would drive me downtown all the time. It was like on 18th Street. And I was, I'm suburban. I'm not used to going downtown all the time, especially parallel parking. So she really would get up with me, and we would go to my mother agent, and they would work with me. And then my father and my grandmother, everyone was really, really, heavily involved in the process. And just honestly, like, social media was cheering me on, saying that I could do it, and friends saying, oh my God, say you're doing it, you're modeling. And it really gave me like the boost of confidence that I needed, because like when you're doing it, you're like, I get one job a month and I'm not doing anything. But the outside looking in, you're like, oh, you're modeling, you're, posting these pretty pictures. But yeah, it was hard, but the support system was nice. As a model, the misconceptions, especially as just being a Black model, is that it actually is true. It is only one. When you go into those castings, you look around, you're like, oh, they already have their one Black girl that they're working with. So that is true. Especially like if you see it on the commercials, there's only one that look like me, and there's going to be, you know, other models. And I really tried to get that out of my head, because it would really just, like, you walk in and be like, oh, they're already working with her, and your confidence would just go low, and you'll be like, I'm not good enough, or I need to straighten my hair, or I need to wear natural, or I need to do this, or I need to look like her. Now I need to work out more so I'll get smaller like her. But you really try to calm that down, and you just try to boost your confidence by just working on yourself at the end of the day. The thing about modeling was working with just so many different creatives. You're never going to work with the same person at the job, and you're never going to work with the same model. So it was just basically like you're going to a meetup and you don't know who you're working with, but you become best friends at the end of the day. You get each other's social media and you just follow each other's journeys. Like, I work with so many makeup artists, and I'm like, I remember when they were practicing on me doing makeup or doing like my face for the first time, and then I see them at another job, and I'm like, oh my God, your journey, you've grown, or now you're doing so much more. So it's just the journey and meeting so many nice people. Oh, what I didn't like, oh my God, so much. Why did I do it? Why I quit. Okay, it is not worth it. It is not worth the unhappiness. It is not worth trying to be so super skinny to model for a brand that is not even going to represent you at the end of the day, because honestly, they're going to just put one to put, you know, so they don't honestly look racist at the end of the day. They're not putting these clothes on us for us. It was just like, you just learn so much. Okay. It was just not worth it. It's not worth the unhappiness. It's not worth always feeling like you're not good enough. And I always felt like I wasn't good enough, no matter if I had a high, if I'm doing all of these jobs and I'm getting booked. But you just honestly, you feel like I have to constantly keep working out. I have to constantly keep being fake. I have to constantly keep up, and you can never relax. You're like, oh, I can't get braids because I have to take a headshot, and I don't know if I'm going to be on call to go to a casting, and I'm going to have this, or I can't relax. And that's why my anxiety was so super high. I was timing all of my meals, like, oh, I have to eat this so I can keep my metabolism up so I don't look bloated for this shoot. Or now I have to gain a little bit of weight because I'm about to do bridal and I have to be a size 6 and not a size 2. But now I have to lose that weight. You're just always looking at the model's calendar, that this is here in this month, and this is here in this month, and now you have to start preparing for this. And you're just like, I'm broke. And I'm going to be broke for a long time unless I move to LA or New York, because Chicago is not going to be paying you the money that you really, really need to live. And I'm trying to do all of this, and I was working overnight. And trying to model during the day. And it was dangerous. I was exhausted, and I was just running off of fumes. And at the end of the day, I was like, I want more for myself. I'm getting too old to be this broke trying to chase a career that is not worth it at the end of the day. You could be a model on Instagram, and those girls get paid so much more. So why do I keep needing to put myself out there in front of a casting agent and you're not gonna get paid until 3 months after the job? Can you imagine? You were like, oh, I just did a big job, and no, that check is not gonna be written, and your agent is not gonna get it until 3 months. It was just so much that it's just not worth it. And you have to stay super busy as a model, or you just cannot make it. And it just was not worth it. And I said, it's time to move on, because I'm just not happy, and I'm tired of spreading myself so thin. First modeling shoot / big project, it was a hair campaign. And I was so excited that I got chosen for it. It was a 2-day shoot. And I just felt like, oh my God, I'm making it in the business. Like, look, I'm on set for 2 days. You get this amount of pay. You don't get paid until 3 months though. But they prepped my hair. I had lunch. It was a super big set. I worked with a lot of hairstylists that needed like a big shoot or a big hair campaign for their book. And I worked with like 4 different hairstylists that day. And they put on some really nice clothes, and my hair was like this big, and they just let me jump around set, and they had all these different photographers and lights, and you were just like, oh my God, this is an actual like big thing, like I'm doing it. And it just felt good that all of like that attention was on you, and the pictures came out nice, and you're just like, oh my God, that's me, and it doesn't even look like me, but I look good and I did that. So my current occupation after modeling is a Forex trader. So it's the foreign exchange trader. I work 24/5. So the market is open 24/5, 24 hours a day, 5 days out the week. But I still work pretty much every day working on my charts and just trying to be as consistently profitable as possible. In the meantime, because of the pandemic, I was actually full time this time last year, but then a pandemic hit, and then the volatility, and I wasn't used to scalping and all of that, how the markets were so volatile at the moment. So I actually chose to quit for about 6 months really, and I just kind of maintained my charting and back testing and my strategy, but I wasn't involved in the markets. I had to get a 9 to 5, and I was depressed because of that. But honestly, trading is back to what it was with the vaccination and everything, and the market started trending and starting to make my money that I was making this time last year before the pandemic. In a way, so I actually have not reached my peak of trading, where like in comparison to modeling and trading, do I has one outweighed each other? Modeling, honestly, I enjoy trading more, the process of it all. Like I enjoy getting to the position of opening up a trade. I enjoy working on myself, so I can everything in my life has to have discipline in order for my trading to actually be great. I have to, it's just like you have to have some set of routine and rules. Other than like modeling, it's like, oh, I just have to like not eat for a couple of days, and or just go talk to my agent and sit in there until they book a job, and then I'll be okay. No, it's not like you can't just be like, oh, snap my fingers and it's gonna happen. Trading is like you have to put in the work, and it really just shows you what it takes to be great in all aspects of your life. So I can definitely say trading, and I just can't wait to reach my peak at it, where I'm trading and I'm consistently profitable and making the bigger money, where I get to enjoy it and, travel and, just enjoy the fruits of my labor. I could do anything differently. I wish I would have never quit trading during the pandemic, because I have some people in my community that chose to write it out and just trust that the markets would play out in their favor, and they actually are, consistently profitable full time. They don't have any other job. And I just wish I didn't quit, because I think I would have been so much more further along in my journey. That I would give to an up and coming model that wants to model in Chicago, honestly, it starts with yourself. You do not need an agent. Social media, TikTok, all of YouTube, market yourself so big. So when you finally do decide to go into an agency, they're gonna want you, and you're not gonna be like, do you want me? No, they're gonna be like, please, I need you, I need your followers, I need you to market this, I need you, like you actually have to work on yourself before someone's gonna want you. And I did that backwards and I had to find out the hard way. Followers, they do matter, and I say take a year and really just be consistently like posting and doing the TikTok trends and working on yourself, taking those pictures, and really just working with different photographers, but not doing anything like that's gonna really like typecast you in a way. Like if you're only doing lingerie or you're only doing street photography, you want to be a blank canvas. You want to just do simple things and just market yourself as cleanly as possible. So if any big agency was to see you, they wouldn't say, oh, she has so much baggage and her pictures and she's been doing this and she's already been marketed as this. So I just say it starts with you, and you have to really just grind and put that work in. If a model is not interested in modeling anymore like me, but still has that passion, because if you've modeled like me, you still have like a passion for creating. So you have to have some different outlet of creating, because you kind of lost it. Like I kind of lost myself for like a year or two after modeling. Like I don't post anymore like as consistent as I used to, because I used to think of Instagram as a job. Like, what do I need to post on Instagram for? That was for modeling. But I do miss the creative aspects. So I say, as like a model or a former model, you have to find a different outlet of creating, like painting. I write a lot, and I also take a lot of different pictures, like these pictures on the wall. I take pictures now. And I just take pictures with like my disposable camera, like one of them old school cameras, and I take pictures of a lot of people, and not necessarily of anything of myself that I've just really wanted to create, but I feel like I'm getting back into it. And like, what if I do become like a little Instagram model? But I just want to do it in a better light. I don't want to just post stock pictures, stock traps, or, I just want to say, like if I'm trading, I want to take a picture of like my charts and me and make it in a tasteful manner and just create that way. Taeja Lynn, and that is just across everything. I'm really just on Instagram. It's Taeja Lynn, Taeja Linn, Lynn with an I, not a Y. And I just made my first TikTok video. I gotta send it to y'all. It's so cute. I had my Singhalese twist, and I cut them and did boom. I did the boom bam bop. But so I feel like I'm gonna start being on TikTok, because I feel like it just uplifts you. So maybe TikTok is Journey with Tay and Taeja Lynn. You got two different names. So, so that's pretty much it.